going on in fashion right now because I have some thoughts. And over the past 2 weeks, I've seen some things that honestly are not quite sitting well with me. Maybe you also feel the same. So if you've been online, you probably have seen the headlines. If not, don't worry, I'm going to catch you up, okay? Get you part of this conversation. Hello everybody, welcome back to today's video. My name is Sabrina and I talk a lot about luxury fashion to more affordable fashion, but today I'm going to be speaking to you about fashion news and my opinions. Fall 2025 is around the corner. I know it's fast approaching, and with that comes brand campaigns, specifically Miu Miu. The brand everyone seems to love and adore, Miu Miu, i.e. the sister child of Prada, Miu Prada's little baby. This is a brand campaign called Femininities. Essentially, this Miu Miu campaign is going to feature 7 top talents, of one of them being Kylie Jenner. This campaign is all about individuality, expression, femininity. Now, at immediate first glance, my reaction was fatigue, boredom, this again. And frankly, that is still my opinion. My second immediate reaction was that Kylie Jenner from Miu Miu, I'm having difficulty trying to understand this because Miu Miu to me gives off preppy, easygoing, free. It does not give me baddie Kylie Jenner, although she's kind of behind her baddie days, so I mean, maybe there's a point here. Now, when you see Kylie Jenner posing, it kind of gives nothing. It kind of gives sim character. And at first glance, you may be like, oh, this is boring. And again, it is. But I also think when you think of Miu Miu, you think of awkward, quirky. And I think that's exactly what they're trying to portray as Kylie Jenner on the campaign of Miu Miu. When I see this, I don't think of Kylie Jenner for a Miu Miu campaign. The poses are absolutely awkward. Again, it's giving sim character. She looks like she is resurrected straight from the sim cover. Miu Miu as a whole, even though yes, I think of preppy and easygoing, I also do think of very awkward, very quirky. Think of Emma Corrin walking down the Miu Miu, I think it was fall 2023, I want to say, in the sequin undies. Sequin undies are awkward. They're weird. They're quirky. But my first reaction when I first saw this campaign, I was like, wow, this is giving absolutely nothing. But then the wheels started to kick in the brain of mine, and you know what? I understand where they're going or where they're trying to go. They were either trying to go with the brand image of awkward, almost quirky, or, hear me out, they were just settling for the cash grab that the Kylie Jenner family provides. I wouldn't throw it past them, you know, it could be both. And listen, whether you're a Kylie Jenner fan, okay, there is no denying that they definitely bring in the funds. I'm sure that there is a huge audience out there that sees Kylie Jenner for Miu Miu and goes, do I have to dabble in a Miu Miu polo? Or a Miu Miu little bag. Then I start to think maybe there's a reason for Kylie Jenner on this campaign. I have been thinking about this lackluster campaign a lot, which honestly just makes the campaign successful. I mean, I can't stop thinking about it. Whether I am the go-to Miu Miu girl or I'm not, I'm still thinking about it. Now, mind you, I'm kind of thinking about it because it's so boring, but I'm still thinking about it. Miu Miu has definitely caught my eye, whether it be good or bad. So listen, I can understand the approach of this campaign. Does it make me like it anymore? No, it does not. Vogue. Yes, the magazine Vogue. In recent news, Anna Wintour has stepped down as editor-in-chief at Vogue. Meanwhile, around the same time that this was announced was the infamous not-so-royal wedding of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. What a wedding indeed, that's for sure. And I want to say it was during the wedding ceremony, but not quite after the wedding. Vogue released a cover of Lauren Sanchez, which really broke the internet indeed, as it should. Let's make one thing clear, okay? I'm not the biggest fan of Jeff Bezos, nor am I the biggest fan of a $50 million wedding. Tacky. Now, this definitely sparked controversy because people were saying that Anna Wintour would never allow this. They would never allow a person like Lauren Sanchez, who really has no part in fashion, nor does she really have the best rep right now. Definitely not the best for the current climate of the world. So this sparked up a debate if Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos bought that cover, which then sparked the debate that actually Jeff Bezos is buying Vogue, to which I don't know if this is actually true. That's actually the last time I heard about it, and maybe that's actually for a good reason, because maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, he is not actually buying Vogue. That would be absolutely terrible for the publication, in my opinion. But what I want to speak about is not actually Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos' wedding. What I actually want to speak about is the AI ads in Vogue. As if Vogue didn't already have a bad month, okay? Now they have AI ads in their magazine. Now, for a little bit of context, Vogue recently released their August edition with Anne Hathaway on the cover. She's wearing Sarah Burton for Givenchy, the ethereal greenness in the back, the bare minimum. But we're not talking about the cover, my dear, okay? We're talking about the ads inside. Inside the magazine is a 2-page guest ad. Both pages are AI models. Now, first and foremost, I think there was no room for AI ads in fashion magazines. This just screams we are losing it. We are losing art and it is dying out. And I don't know what's worse, the fact that I feel like art is dying, or the fact that this 2-page Guess ad is pretty convincing. And I think if you were to look through the magazine pretty quickly, I don't think what would come to mind immediately was that that was an AI ad. Upon first glance, it looks like a very edited, very beautiful model. But I think if you look a little closer, and there was a TikTok creator that went through this, I will try and insert her on the screen, but she did a great job at analyzing exactly how you can tell that this ad is AI. She mentioned through the ring fingers, but also the wrist, that you can tell that this is AI, but that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that it very discreetly mentions that it is AI, which is extremely scary to know in my opinion, because if we're going to be seeing these ads, we as a consumer should know that this is AI, i.e. it's fake. Let's just say hypothetically a young girl were to come across this magazine and be like, wow, that is exactly what I need to live up to right now and also when I'm older. But that little girl will likely not know that that ad is AI. I mean, the little girl looking at this magazine is just one example of why AI in fashion magazines is bad. If fashion is a form of art, why are we allowing fake art to be added to fashion magazines? Is this because Anna Wintour is not editor-in-chief at Vogue anymore? That might be a stretch, okay, but something is going on at Vogue. It's already enough that fashion magazines are dying, or magazines in general are dying out. We do not need to be seeing fake art. The audacity. My next and final argument also has something to do with Anna Wintour. Or should I mention Anna Wintour's sister, cousin, I don't know, Miranda Priestley. Devil Wears Prada 2 is coming out, I believe, next May. Now, if you are into fashion, as I'm sure you are if you are watching this, I'm sure you love The Devil Wears Prada. Personally, I love it so much that I saw The Devil Wears Prada play when I was in London, I think back in January. Fantastic, okay, go see it. Absolutely amazing. This movie is highly anticipated. I am highly looking forward to it as well. But what I am not looking forward to seeing, and what I don't want to see entirely, is the outfits, the behind the scene moments of what is being filmed as we speak. Paparazzi are left, right, and center in those bushes in New York, snapping photos as Anne Hathaway is walking down with her phone, snapping what she's wearing, giving a sneak peek in what we'll see in the actual movie. They're doing the same thing with poor Miranda Priestley. She's booked and busy, okay? She does not need paparazzi to be snapping what she's wearing. The reason why I have an issue with this is because I don't want to see a single drop of behind the scene footage until I'm in that chair biting on my popcorn on whatever day this comes out. I think it's like May, I think it's right before the Met Gala. May 3rd, May 4th, I'll insert on the screen. Can't remember. But until that day, okay, I don't want to see a single outfit, a single pre-spoiler. Okay, let the surprise be the surprise when this movie comes out. I'm dying to know your thoughts on this, on whether you like seeing spoilers and whether you like seeing the outfits, or if you would rather that everything get kept under wraps. That way, when you see it for the first time in theaters, it's magnificent, it's absolutely glorious. You're seeing everything for the first time as opposed to seeing the spoilers and being like, oh, yeah, I saw that a couple months ago. That outfit's nothing new to me. And I think I'm just mad. I think I'm mad that we're seeing so many spoilers, so many behind the scene moments that none of us asked for, at least not me. Don't ruin The Devil Wears Prada 2, an experience that we've been waiting a lifetime for. Again, the audacity. And for my last argument, archives. It seems like every brand under the sun at this point, and we've been doing this for the past, I want to say 5 years at least, around the 20-year mark, or i.e. the 20th anniversary of an iconic piece, is around the time when brands go, oh, let's release the bag that was once a hit 20 years ago, zhuzh it up a bit, and re-release it to the audience 20 years later. This was a tactic that was really done with, I think, Prada and the Prada re-edition nylon handbag. Louis Vuitton is also notorious for this as well. And the reason I bring it up is because Chloe is now fallen victim to this re-edition with the Chloé Paddington lock bag. This handbag was once an absolute hit and is still a very heavy hit. Okay, it's a heavy handbag. If you want to be carrying around a padlock with you, this is the bag to buy, or the bag to hold. Now, mind you, I have no issue with the actual handbag. My issue is when the handbag is re-released 20 years later with very little tweaks to it, to the point where you could just go out and buy from the pre-love market the same handbag from 20 years back. When a handbag has such little tweaks that you can go buy the same handbag from 20 years back at a fraction of the cost, is where I kind of have the issue, because where is the creativity? I think we can only say we're bringing out the archives so much, because I feel like that's all we've been doing. How many archives is there to bring out? Asking for a friend. Now mind you, there's a couple reasons as to why brands are choosing to bring out the archives for various reasons, which I think could be an entire separate video. There's definitely a disconnect with luxury goods right now. People are definitely choosing to clench onto their money as opposed to going out and buying at these luxury stores, whether that be for a variety of reasons: price increases, quality, a lack of creativity. Maybe they're just not fond of anything in store. And maybe these brands think that if they bring out the archives, that they can once pull the strings that you had 20 years back. Maybe you loved a handbag from 20 years ago, but you couldn't afford it, but maybe you can afford it now. Because it all makes sense, you know? If something worked 20 years back, why not re-release it? You can also argue that there could be a dip in brand loyalty, or maybe consumers are confused with the constant creative director musical chairs. When a new creative director comes in, they create all these wonderful items, and then after a couple of seasons, us as consumers start to understand the creative direction and where that house is going. But when there is a creative director each and every year, okay, that might be an exaggeration, we as consumers don't understand where the brand is going. We don't understand the vision and we get confused. And I think that's kind of when brand loyalty drops off. And when there's a drop in sales, brands gotta hustle. You know, they gotta do what they gotta do to make a check, hence why they may want to bring out what once worked. Listen, I understand the strategy, okay? It makes perfect sense to me. But are they doing it because of that, or are they doing it because there's just a lack of creativity? That is the argument here. And this really isn't just applying to luxury fashion. This is also applying to film, because I'm sure you and I have both seen that these movies are being redone and redone and redone. Devil Wears Prada is also an example. As much as I love Devil Wears Prada, I actually don't think that we needed to see a second one. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I stand corrected. Disney is also notorious for redoing movies over and over and over again, which I know on the Disney side has really sparked the debate of where is the creativity, especially with a motion picture like Disney. So I think you could argue at both sides. I think you could argue that where is the creativity, or you could argue, you know what, this worked so well for them 20 years back, might as well see if it's gonna work again. Mind you, I think we are also at a time where we as consumers are fatigued. We are seeing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's almost like we're desperate, or at least I'm desperate for some creativity, some life. So yes, I mean, while I can sit here and say that bringing back the Chloé Paddington lock bag is great, personally it's not a bag for me. I just wish we were going to see new stuff, new innovation, new creativity. But maybe that's asking too much. The rant has officially concluded. Let me know your thoughts on what I discussed, on what really grinds your gears, because I would truly love to know. Hopefully I'm not the only one that is out here having these strong opinions. The fashion space just feels a little off balance to me. Something needs to be done. So with all that being said, I'm gonna leave you guys here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have the utmost fabulous day ahead. Bye guys.